TL off.
The Denver Radio Club Net will begin at 8:30. This is K0TR. QSD from the Denver Radio Club. Welcome to the Denver Radio Club Net, being held on repeater W0TX. This is a meeting held on air every Sunday evening at about 8:30 p.m. Good evening. My name is Jim. My call sign is Kilo Zero Tango Oscar Romeo. I'll be your net control station transmitting from Littleton, Colorado. If there's any emergency or priority traffic during this net, say break at any pause, and the net will be suspended until the emergency or priority traffic is completed. This net is for Denver Radio Club members and all interested radio members. We're here to share information concerning any ham-related activities. Regular meetings of the Denver Radio Club are held on the third Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. And again, with the COVID-19 restrictions, we have virtual meetings, and we use Google Meets as that virtual source. And if you need an address for that, you can get that on our club website, or if you're on our mail list, you'll get an email that actually provides you with that address. Our next meeting will be on September the 15th. An Elmer session is held at 6 p.m. just prior to our monthly meeting, and this session addresses any amateur radio questions that you might have. So whether you're new to amateur radio or interested in some new application of amateur radio, this is a session where you can get help. Also, every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m., except the third Wednesday when a monthly meeting is held, there's a learning net held on 145.490 megahertz and 448.625 megahertz. This is another area where you can find answers for your amateur radio-related questions. As a general interest club, we provide emergency communication for the Salvation Army, City of Wheat Ridge Police Department, City of Lakewood Police Department, the West Metro Fire District, and the St. Anthony's West Hospital. We're always looking for members who would like to participate in this support. Please contact our club president if you'd like to help. Our current president is Jerry Vilhauer, W0GB, and Jerry's telephone number is 303-467-0223. The Denver Radio Club website address is www.w0tx.org. And again, Jerry's telephone number is 303-467-0223. The Denver Radio Club also participates in the ARRL Volunteer Examiner Program. But again, with COVID-19 restrictions, we don't have testing sessions as often as we had in the past. We do try to hold those periodically, and we'll forward that information on this net when we anticipate ones coming up. You can also check our website, W0TX.org, and also other clubs will announce their test sessions on this net as well. So stand by and try and pass any of that information on for you as well. If you have other questions in regards to VE testing, you can contact our VE team lead, Tom Kashowski, KC2CAG, and his number is 720-284-1911. This is the Denver Radio Club Net, W0TX, and this is K0TR serving as net control. Are there special announcements or bulletins for the net this evening? If so, please call now.
N0ETV, I have a brief announcement.
N0ETV, Lance, go ahead with your announcement, and I have it checked in.
Good evening, Jim. A week from yesterday, the Mile High VE team had a test session at HRO. We had 11 test takers. 7 tech licenses were awarded, 2 general licenses, and 1 extra. Back to net control in N0ETV.
N0ETV is K02R. Thanks for that, Lance. Congratulations to all those hams getting their technician license or moving up in grade. Glad to hear that. Keeps the hobby active and growing, so that's important to us for sure. All right, let me see if there's any other special announcements or bulletins for the net before I move on. If so, please call now.
AC0VC.
AC0VC, go ahead, Bill.
Good evening, Jim, and everyone else on the net. To go along with the VE testing, the Patriot VE team will be doing some testing. If you go to hamstudy.org/sessions/W0 Papa Charlie Tango, you will find a list of the test sessions, the dates and the times available. You need to sign up ahead of time for the sessions because you will be assigned an ID. And all the testing is free. The next session coming up will be on August the 28th. That's a Saturday at HRO. There's an 8 o'clock session and a 9 o'clock session. Both of those have 2 slots available. The next one would be on August 30th at the Able Shepherd in Centennial, and then another one on September 12th. So there's a number of sessions coming up. Once again, if you go to hamstudy.org/sessions/W0PCT, you'll find all that information there. Back to you, Jim, AC0VC.
AC0VC is K02R. Thank you for that, Bill. We appreciate that. And it's always good to hear that we've got sessions readily available for those wishing to take tests. So we do appreciate all you guys' help in passing that information on here to the net. Before I move on, are there any other special announcements or bulletins for the net? Please call now. All right, do appreciate that. And helps out those looking for test sessions. So. Before regular check-ins, I'd like to welcome and invite any visiting radio amateurs to check into the Denver Radio Club net this evening. During this net, we disable the requirement for the 100 Hz PO repeater access tone, so you can use either 145.490 megahertz with a minus 600 kilohertz offset, or 448.625 megahertz with a minus 5 megahertz. Are there any visiting radio amateurs who would like to check into the Denver Radio Club net tonight? If so, please call now.
W0TX repeater.
Well, I thought somebody was trying to check in there. I'm not sure. I did not hear any audio or voice, so if somebody's trying to check in, try it again. All right, next I'd like to welcome and invite any newly licensed or recently upgraded radio amateurs to check in. Please call now. I'll now take regular check-ins in groups, and please let me know if you have traffic when you check in, and I'll get back to you. First, radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters A through E, Alpha through Echo. Please call now.
November 0 Delta Bravo Sierra N0 DBS in Denver, no traffic. Good evening.
November 5 Charlie Mike Kilo Greg in Denver, no traffic.
November 0 Echo Yankee Zulu Jim in South Jefferson County, no traffic.
Whiskey Bravo 0 Alpha Kilo Victor WB 0 AKV Rich in Westminster, no traffic.
Alpha Fox 0 Echo, Allen Springfield.
Good evening to everyone on YouTube, Twitch.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. W0BKS Barb. Barb, I don't know if there was a double in there or what, but sure was a lot of hum on your signal, so I don't know if you might be hooked up to charger or what, but just so you're aware. Might not be anything from your end. And next I had N0 DBS Don, N5 CMK Greg, N0 EYZ Jim, and W0 AKV Rich, and AF0E Alex. Make a second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters A through E, Alpha through Echo. Please call now.
Kilo Delta 0 Delta Uniform Juliet, Chris in Denver, no traffic.
We were a double on the first call.
Charles in Denver, no traffic.
KA5, DKS, Ken in Arvada.
Kilo Charlie 0, Charlie Zulu, 5 North.
This is Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie K1 DBC Duron. Sorry, yes, this is Duron K1DBC. Don't hesitate if you're listening here on Twitch or YouTube, don't hesitate to reach out for any questions. I can get you checked in.
And Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. KD0 DOJ Chris. Sound like I had a double in there and I had trouble picking up just what they were saying, but if you'd come back here in just a moment, I'd appreciate it. Next I had WD0CIV Charles, KA5DKS Ken, KC0CZ Bob, and K1DBC Drone. The other station calling, would you come back again, please? All right, I can barely hear you, Paul. Really weak, but K0DPR Paul. Thanks for that. We'll move on down the alphabet. And Radio Amateurs call suffixes begin letters F through J. Foxtrot through Juliet. Please call out.
Alpha 0 Juliet Kilo. AA0 JK. Fred in Arvada. Good evening. No traffic.
And 0 Golf Whiskey Mike Leon in Lakewood.
Kilo Foxtrot 0 Foxtrot Sierra Yankee. Dan in Denver.
Kilo 6 Hotel Juliet Victor K6HJV Tom Arvada, no traffic.
Hey, good evening, John. VE5JHN. I'll get you checked in here. Good evening.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. AA0JK Fred, N0GWM Leon, KF0FSY Dan, and K6HJV Tom. Make a second call for Radio Amateurs. This call suffixes begin letters F through J, Foxtrot through Juliet. Please call now.
November 0 Golf Tango Golf, Kurt in Denver.
This is Dorona, Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie, checking in Victor Edward 5 Juliet Hotel November VE5 JHN John.
Kilo Foxtrot 0 Foxtrot Papa India, Ron in Lakewood.
And Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. N0GTG Kurt, and VE5JHN John, and KF0FPI Ron. Move on down the alphabet. Radio amateurs call suffixes begin letters K through O. Kilo through Oscar. Please call now.
Kilo Echo 0 Oscar Sierra India. International traffic.
Kilo 0 Lima Alpha India K0 LEI Larry Liquid.
Whiskey 0 Mike Delta Kilo Matt in Denver.
And at control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. KE0OSI Tom, K0LAI Larry. I had a double and Larry 1, so if you don't hear your caller name, please check in here in a moment. And lastly, I had W0MDK Matt. Make a second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters K through O, Kilo through Oscar. Please call now.
Hey, good evening, Bob, W4VG, and everyone.
And at control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. WA4MBG Bob. We'll move on down the alphabet. Radio amateurs call suffixes begin letters P through T. Papa through Tango. Please call now.
Whiskey Bravo 2, Sierra Hotel Romeo, Stan in Denver, no traffic.
Kilo Echo 0 Romeo Victor Zulu John in Lakewood, no traffic.
And Jim, W0GV, checking in just a bit late. Jerry in Westminster.
November 0 Tango Romeo Papa Jim in Lakewood. Good evening.
Kilo Bravo 9er, Quebec Delta Golf, KB 9er, QDG, Carl, Lakewood, no traffic.
Just listen to the check-ins here for the Sunday night net for the Denver Radio Club. For the Denver Radio Club. More info, W0TX.org.
At control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. WB2 SHR Stan, KE0RVC John, W0GV Jerry, N0TRP Jim, and KB9er QDG Carl. Make second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters P through T, Papa through Tango. Please call now.
As you see on the left side
All
of the
right,
screen,
moving down the alphabet, radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters U through Z, uniform through Zulu. Please call now.
KF0UV, Marshall and Glendale. Kilo Delta 0, Whiskey Papa Quebec, Tom in Aurora.
Kilo 0 Yankee Echo Sierra, Ken in Broomfield.
Kilo Echo 0 Victor Charlie Whiskey John in Denver.
November 0, X-ray, Romeo X-ray, Mark in Arvada, no traffic. Good evening.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. KF0 UV Marshall, KD0 WPQ Tom, K0YES Ken, KE0 VCW John, and N0XRX Mark. Make second call for radio amateurs. This call suffixes begin letters U through Z, uniform through Zulu. Please call now. All right, we'll open up the entire alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Please call now.
Whiskey, Golf 0, November, WG0N, Dave in Lakewood.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. WG0N Dave. There'll be a chance for late check-ins a little later in the net. And next I'll invite our club president, Jerry Vilhauer, W0GV, go through and cover club business. Go ahead, Jerry, the net is yours.
All righty, Jim. Well, thanks for doing the net. Welcome, everybody. Just not much club business, I don't believe. Hasn't been anything noteworthy other than we've been having issues with our 220 repeater, and it's been very unreliable. And so at the present time, our good old standby's back in there, so 220's on, but with our old standby repeater. So other than that, I think everything's operating. We came up with a new radio for our VHF packet station, so that's been installed and working. I can't think of anything else. So thanks for checking in with us, and our next meeting's a ways off, so we won't talk about that yet. And back to you, Jim, W0GV.
W0GV, this is K02R. Thank you, Jerry. We do appreciate that. Sounds like things are staying relatively calm. That's good. I don't see anybody that indicated they had traffic when I checked in. I hope I didn't miss any of you. But this is the Denver Radio Club Net, W0TX, and this is K0TR, your net control station. Does anyone have any other comments, information, or business for the net? If so, please call now.
KF0 FPI has a question to the net.
Yes, go ahead, question.
Did anybody out there watch the grounding and bonding forum from, I believe it was Ward Silver on Wednesday?
W0TX repeater.
Yes, indeed, I did. I think there's a number of others that were on there as well. What can we answer? What question can we answer?
I took a lot of screenshots on his presentation, and the screenshot I missed, he bought these elements from these components that were, he bought them by the hundreds, and he put them on his rotator to ground. There was some gas type thing, so so if there was an event, it would knock the event out. I don't remember what it was. I was hoping one of you guys would.
Yeah, I remember it's a gas tube. I don't know what the identification was in detail. I think there's copies of his PowerPoint slides available, and I think Jeff's not on tonight, but I think he has those available. I think they did list a website, and I don't have that in front of me as to where you could get a copy of his PowerPoint slides. And I believe K1DBC Drone copies that information as well. Drone, are you there? Can you confirm that for me?
K0TR, this is K1DBC. Yeah, actually, I did stream it on my YouTube channel. If you do search on YouTube for W0TX, our club call sign, or my call sign, Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie, you can see the video in full. There is a link to the PDF as well, or to the PowerPoint presentation. I'll get that listed as well, because yeah, everything should be there from the full presentation to answer your question there. This is K1DBC, back to net control.
K1DBC, this is K02R. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Nat. I kind of looked, I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago for it, and I couldn't find the links that Daron was talking about. Maybe they're there now.
Well, I suggest you do check that, the W0TX.org YouTube, and see what you get there. And if you still can't find what you need, let us know here in the net next week, and we'll be sure to have the information and get that to you.
KF0 FBI appreciates it, and thanks.
Yeah, again, Daniel,
you're welcome, Ms. K02R. And let me make a second call here just in case there are any late check-ins. Please call now. All right, I'll now review next weekend's contests and upcoming Hamfests. Let's see what we got here on the calendar for this next weekend. All right, we got Hawaii QSO Party. That begins on August 28th at 0400 hour Zulu, goes through August 30th until 0400 hour Zulu. That's on 160 through 10 meters. That's a CW phone and digital contest. Next, we have the AL RAR contest. It begins on August 28th at 0600 hour Zulu, goes through August 29th until 0559 hour Zulu. That's on 80 through 10 meters. That is a CW and phone contest. Next, we have the W/EE Islands QSO Party. Begins on August 28th at 1200 hour Zulu, goes through August 29th until 0300 hour Zulu. That is on 160 through 6 meters. That is a CW phone and digital contest. Next, we have the YODXHF contest. That begins on August 28th at 1200 hour Zulu, goes through August 29th until 1200 hour Zulu. That is on 160 through 10 meters. That is a CW and phone contest. Next, we have the Worldwide Digi DX contest. That begins on August 28th at 1200 hour Zulu, goes through August 29th until 1200 hour Zulu. That is also on 160 through 10 meters. That is a digital contest. Next, we have the Kansas QSO Party. That begins on August 28th at 1400 hours Zulu, goes through August 29th until 2000 hours Zulu. That's on 80 through 6 meters. That is the CW phone and digital contest. Next, we have the Ohio QSO Party. That begins on August 28th at 1600 hours Zulu, goes through August 29th until 0400 hours Zulu. That's on 160 through 10 meters. That's CW and phone contest. And lastly, we have the SARL HF CW contest. That begins on August 29th at 1400 hours Zulu, goes through August 29th until 1700 hours Zulu. That's on 80 through 20 meters. That is a CW contest. Upcoming Hamfests, we have the Wyoming ARL Section Convention. That's being held at the Archer Event Center, which is just east of Cheyenne. The dates on that are October 8th through 9th. That's in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Last time I checked it, their presentations were still in progress of being developed and identified, so I'll keep an eye on that and try to pass that on to you as that gets closer. Basically, it looks like they have primarily a business meeting that's on Friday, October the 8th, and then the actual convention will be held on Saturday, October the 9th. They say it will start at 7 in the morning, and let's see here, I think it goes till it looks like possibly till 1900 hours. That'd be like 7 o'clock at night. So I'll try and keep an eye on that and see what technical programs that they actually come up with and pass that on to you. A couple other reminders. The High Noon Net, they meet daily at 12 noon where early check-ins begin at 11:30. They meet on a frequency of 7.240 megahertz, which is on the 40-meter band. And I haven't had a chance to confirm it, but I believe Salvation Army Saturnet, they meet at 1500 hours Zulu, that's 9 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, and they now, or shortly, will begin meeting on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They meet on a frequency of, I believe it's 14.225 at this time, which is on the 20-meter band, but I'll try and see if I can verify that as time goes by here. I think they're trying to get reorganized and bring that back up. So we'll pass that on as we find it. Thank you.
We're looking at video here from
Contact WB0AKV.
WB0AKV, I believe it was. Go ahead.
W0TX repeater.
Yes, this is WB0AKV. The Saturn Net meets on a frequency of 14.325. 14.325 Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. QSL?
QSL, thank you very much. I do appreciate that, and we'll make note of that so we pass on the correct information. Thank you. The Denver Radio Club maintains the following repeaters for use by all radio amateurs. The 147.330 megahertz with a positive offset, 145.490 megahertz with a negative offset.
If you all want to see a copy of the repeaters, it's W0TX.org/repeaters.htmm. I'll just browse through some random things here through the end of the net. If you have any questions, comments, don't hesitate to let me know. Yeah, this is Jerome K1BC. You're listening to Jim K0TR. So, yeah.
And our C4FM digital repeater on 449.775 megahertz with a negative offset. The 447.825 megahertz repeater is configured for narrowband FM and requires a digital coded squelch of 073. There are two repeaters on 147.330 megahertz. The repeater in Lakewood requires a 100 hertz field tone, and the second repeater located east near Franktown, requires a 131.8 hertz PL tone. We have a second repeater on the same frequency out east to improve coverage along the Front Range and into the canyons. However, having two repeaters on the same frequency with two different frequency propagations, we ask that you monitor the frequency to assure neither is in use prior to making your call. The 449.350 megahertz repeater provides wide area coverage, and this repeater hosts our Echolink station, W0TX, node number 4140. And the 448.625 megahertz repeater is linked with the 145.490 megahertz repeater. Each repeater requires a 100 hertz PL tone for activation, except as noted, and each uses standard offsets. And for packet, we have the 145.050 megahertz gateway on 2 meters that is interconnected with the 14.105 megahertz gateway on 20 meters for packet QSO. And we have a 6-meter repeater on 53.09 megahertz with an input on 52.09 megahertz with a required 107.2 hertz PL tone. Your support of the Denver Radio Club is greatly appreciated. If you'd like to participate in any of the many club activities, please contact our club president, Jerry Vilhauer, W0GV. I'd like to thank everyone for checking into the Denver Radio Club net tonight. Your support is greatly appreciated. I hope you have a great week. 7-3. Tonight we had a total of 39 check-ins, and the Denver Radio Club W0TX net is now closed at 9:10. And repeaters available for regular use. This is K0TR net control station. And please stand by a moment while I return the PL tone to the repeater.
PL on.
And this K0TR. I am clear. Good night all.
All right, thanks everyone for joining here on YouTube, and now I'm starting to stream on Twitch. Appreciate people being on both platforms here. Yeah, don't hesitate to ever jump in with any questions, comments. I'm more than happy to relay them onto Net Control or whatnot. Again, Wednesday nights, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time. We have a much more casual conversation. Just don't hesitate to jump in on that too. With that, I'll wait a moment or two here, see if anybody has anything. But yeah, this Sunday night's pretty laid back usually. Yeah, browsing reddit.com/amateur radio. Great resource for just pretty just good casual information about the hobby. Just information people have been picking up books, things like that, and just memes, things like that. And yeah, as mentioned, the Huntsville Hamfest. W5KUB is the call sign of the YouTube operator here. I think he's active on Reddit too, but has a lot of has a pretty cool YouTube as well. Has a pretty active conversation here once in a while. So yeah, check him out. Yeah, I guess let's see if I have anything else. Appreciate yeah, Bob and John checking in here online, and anyone else watching this. Yeah, again, more info on our club, W0TX.org, Whiskey Zero Tango X-Ray, Denver Radio Club. Yeah. So with that, everyone take care. Have a good evening.